It is election season, and a number of South Shore towns are asking for overrides, including the town of Norwell asking for $3.7 million in an override request to voters. Now, earlier this week, we had several town officials talking about why they want the override, what it would encompass, and how this came about. We did have a request from a citizen of Norwell who has served on boards, but he's speaking with us as a private citizen today to talk about why he is against the override, and that's Matt Weiman. Matt, thanks so much for joining us today.
Hi, Christine. Appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Now, in the town of Norwell, $3.7 million requested for an override. Town meeting is on Monday night, would need to pass there, and then it would also need to pass in the election booth on May 17th. If you can tell our listeners, again, it's radio, so we can't see lists of numbers. What's your top couple of reasons thinking for no to this override?
Sure. Our message is simple and short, and it starts with acknowledging the tax burden placed on our residents. Over the past 10 years, the assessed value of all property in Norwell has increased by 76%, 42% in the last 4 years alone. So our residents are paying a lot more in taxes because their homes are being assessed higher. And when you factor in the impact of skyrocketing inflation, you can imagine how much less money our residents have in their pockets. Their dollar is worth less, and their taxes are going up because their home is worth more. And then, as you mentioned, like many other South Shore communities, along comes the ask for this override, which is a permanent tax increase that compounds every year, meaning the 7% increase that Norwell is asking is an increase to the base that is used to calculate future increases. So to illustrate how those numbers could play out, the average value for a home in Norwell is $1,020,000. So a resident with a home valued at that amount will pay an extra $4,500 in total over 5 years to pay for this override. So in looking at this decision, I try to think of it through the eyes of an elderly resident, for example, who is on a fixed income, a single parent, someone who is maybe unemployed, or someone like me who is trying to put 4 kids through college. Some of us may be able to afford the large increase in taxes due to the value of our homes going up, and some of us may be able to afford the permanent increase in taxes due to this override. But I do wonder how many of us can afford both of those things and the override next year for the projected $1.3 million budget shortfall that's not covered by this year's override, and the cost of the new South Shore Voltech school, which we start paying for in a few years, and the cost associated with the ask for a new high school, and the cost associated with the ask of a new $18 million water treatment plant, and the cost associated with an ask related to a new Council on Aging rec center. It's just a lot. I know I can't. So, in summary, our position is that this town, Norwell, faces a watershed moment. We either consent to one of many large tax increases, or we ask the town to balance their budget and make some structural changes that will absolutely be difficult, but I believe will set our schools and our residents up for success in the future. And it's a difficult decision. It's personal. I respect people who have different opinions, but I'm voting no on 2B. with hopes that the resulting changes will position us for future success. And I hope others and your listeners will consider doing the same.
Now, Matt, let me ask you a question. I know that there's some other people in Norwell that you're fairly organized and you have information. Is there a place that somebody who's listening now in Norwell could go and see some of this in writing and look at some of the numbers? Do you have a Facebook page or a website people can look at?
We do. The town is posting a lot of good information, so I certainly would recommend to folks to use town resources. But in addition to that, we provided some additional or supplemental information on our website. That is norwelloverride.com, norwelloverride.com.
And Matt, we'll put this up online, and we appreciate you joining us today and sharing your side of the story. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Have a great afternoon.
You too. Welcome. That's Matt Weiman from the town of Norwell.